So, this is Samantha Salmon, certified integrative nutrition coach and brain health licensed trainer, and I'm making this quick video as a public service announcement. I know recently Chef AJ, who's one of the giants in the plant-based world, has shared that she's going through cancer. She's not the first person who is a plant-based eater, plant-based leader, who has had cancer. And so, for those of you who aren't aware, there are many carcinogens in our environment. It's not just in the food. And so, there's many ways to get cancer, even if you do things to dramatically lower your risk. So, eating plant-based dramatically lowers your risk because you do have carcinogens in the meats, especially processed meats, right? But there's some others I want to highlight for you that you may not be aware of, okay? Alcohol consumption. There are plant-based eaters that still promote alcohol, sell alcohol, drink alcohol. Alcohol is a carcinogen. Also, there's air pollution, right? If you live in an urban environment or you live in a rural environment where they're spraying pesticides and all these, chemicals on the land like Roundup and stuff, which I wouldn't consider my neighborhood rural, but we definitely have a lot of that spraying going on. I am also, just like you all, at risk for cancer. Okay, then you have wood dust that causes nasal cancers, which, people are doing stuff we have no control over. Chemotherapy drugs. I bet you didn't know that while some people are treating their cancer, they can have secondary cancers from chemotherapy drugs. Okay, you can Google that and research that from the cancer organizations, right? American Cancer Society, I believe, is one that was talking about it, but there's a few other cancer centers that talk about this. Chemotherapy drugs can lead to secondary cancers. There's also X-rays and gamma radiation. Every time you fly, we go through these X-rays, right? And anytime you need a medical screening, we're going through these radiation screenings. That puts you at risk for cancer. You also have acrylamide when you cook food at high temperatures. You also have pesticides on the produce, right? So for those who aren't strict about organic, or maybe they just don't even have the money to eat organic all the time, right? That is another source of carcinogens. Diesel engine exhaust. If you drive on a road, the window is open, or you don't have that feature turned on your car where you get to circulate the inside cabin air, you're taking in air from the inside. Is it getting filtered? Have you changed your filters, right? Going to the gas station, right? You're getting diesel engine exhaust. That's a known carcinogen. Hair dye chemicals, right? People who are putting all sorts of stuff on their head. So that's why I always recommend going to Environmental Working Group to check your skincare products, your hair care products. There are known carcinogens in those items. There's also rubber manufacturing chemicals. When you buy new things, right, they off gas. So like formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. The leather jackets, I tell the story about these leather jackets that I bought while I was in college, and they were these cute jackets, right? But then I saw the movie Earthlings, and I could no longer wear leather, right? One, that film made the connection for me that I'm wearing dead animal skin. The only reason it's not decaying and smelling, disgusting on me, right? Because when you have decaying flesh that's dying, right, it smells. But why is it not smelling? Why is it not changing color? It's because it's been dipped in a whole bunch of chemicals, including formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen, right? It's toxic, yet I'm putting it on my body. It's a leather jacket, so it's really for warm weather. I'm sweating, I'm getting hot, my pores open up. This thing is off-gassing. All our items, especially when they're new, right? They're off-gassing volatile compounds, right? So you're ingesting basically through the skin these chemical gases, right? And there's a lot of them. So anyway, I won't go into all of it. There's secondhand smoke. I mean, I have never smoked in my life. Yet we know from Dr. Greger's book, if you've lived above a restaurant where they are searing animals on the grill, that smoke causes lung cancer, right? Also, people out in the street. I traveled to Europe. They literally smoke all over the place, right? In Europe. Like, I don't know what's going on over there. But the same way we are using food as a coping mechanism in America, I feel like Europe loves to use cigarettes as a coping mechanism for their stress. But the mere fact that you travel and other people are smoking, I mean, what are you going to do? All you can do is the best you can do. Load up on your cruciferous vegetables, eat as much raw as possible, but nothing is guaranteed. You can only do your best to lower your risk. You are not invincible as a clean eater and an exerciser, right? So I'm sorry if I bursted anyone's bubble this morning, but this is really important to know and share, right? If anyone is confused or shocked or whatever. And I think transparency is really important, right? If you want to share. Your health really is no one's business. But if you feel like sharing, if transparency is important to you and you want to share, feel free to share. You're going to have ignorant people on the internet. Some of them are just like, I consider them, a lot of people who troll on the internet as people who just have unhealthy brains, to be honest with you. Like, once I understand the neuroscience of how the brain is working, I have a lot of empathy for people. It doesn't mean that, they get a pass necessarily all the time, right? But you can just sit in that there are hurt people out there, their brains are not well, they're going to say things that are really inaccurate and ignorant and hurtful and annoying. But that is the environment we're living in right now, right? We're living in a toxic environment and there are toxic, unhealthy brains out there. So as we are health leaders out here sharing the message to help people live a healthier lifestyle, right? We don't live in a utopian society, so it's not going to be completely clean, right? Because we don't have everybody on board. I mean, we've been talking about chemicals and in the food, like these red dyes and all these artificial stuff in the food for a long time, and we're just now having the conversation at the federal level, where, people are holding the FDA accountable. So things take a long time to create any kind of change. And while we're working on creating this change, you have companies right now who are spending thousands of dollars in research and development to create other chemicals that are potential carcinogens in order to make money under the guise of solving a problem, but it's really short-sighted because they don't test long-term enough to find out if it's safe or not. And the way our American system is, it's pretty much pay to play. They put it out, they test on people in real life, in real time, and then enough people get sick, and then we turn around and ban and revoke and recall.